Hi, Ray Poynter here, and welcome to this virtual lesson. So here's the agenda for today. I want you to access this webpage, newmr.org/ntu, and that's got all of the materials for today's session. In this short presentation, before I start you off on the practical exercise and the viewing of videos, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how you conduct video interviews to collect data, a little bit about permission and ethics, and then I'm going to tell you about the videos about how to use Qualtrics to write surveys, analyze responses, export data, and so on. And then I'm going to set the practical exercise and describe how we're going to have a discussion about that process. So as part of your research project, you might be doing quantitative interviews, in which case you're using surveys, or you might be doing qualitative interviews. If you're doing qualitative interviews, you probably want to do online interviews using a webcam. Now, there are some issues about that. The first one is permission and consent. Have you really told people what you're doing? Are you sure that you have consent? You want to protect people's anonymity, and that's quite difficult because faces are personally identifiable data, so you need to be careful with how you store that information, how you use that information. You need to think about whether you're going to do just voice, or are you going to do face and voice? Are you going to record the audio, or are you going to record the audio and the video? And if you are recording audio and video, think about how you're going to edit it. You might collect 20 minutes of conversation with somebody, but you don't want to include 20 minutes of conversation in your report or your presentation. You probably want 30 seconds, a minute, maximum a minute and a half. So make sure that you can edit those videos to get exactly the piece you want. There are lots of options for collecting this sort of data. You can use Skype or Facebook, WhatsApp, FaceTime, etc. My recommendation would be to use web meeting software, for example Zoom, and I'm going to talk more about Zoom in a moment. And there is also research software out there which is very powerful. It's got lots of extra features, but it costs money, so Zoom is a good option. So here is Zoom. There is a free option available, which is why I'm recommending it. The free option is limited to only 40 minutes, but for your sorts of projects that should be fine. You shouldn't really need to interview any one person for more than 40 minutes. You can collect just the audio, or you can do audio and video, and it will record it if you want. We'll be using Zoom for the Q&A session about this lesson. I'm going to be broadcasting voice and images, and you'll be typing questions via the Q&A option. Just to remind you about permission and ethics, you must have informed consent, so please use the consent forms from NTU and make sure that you respect anonymity. So Nottingham Trent University has licenses for you to use SurveyMonkey and to use Qualtrics. They are both very good survey platforms, but Qualtrics is more widely respected, so I would strongly recommend that you do your project using Qualtrics. And we're going to use that for surveys and for semi-structured interviews. Find out from the department how to create your account, and then you'll be using probably this link to create your account, and you will need a Qualtrics account to do the practical for this lesson. So what I want you to do for the Qualtrics example is to go to the web page I've mentioned before, where everything for today's session is there. I have created two simple surveys. I'd like you to take those surveys. One is a quantitative survey, one is a discursive survey, which is also a semi-structured survey. Then I want you to watch these 5 short videos. They show you how to create a simple survey, then how to create a quantitative survey, a discursive survey, shows you how to review your survey data after you've collected some data in Qualtrics, and then how to export it to Excel or SPSS. So watch those, and then you're going to be doing the practical exercise. But of course, during the practical exercise, you can go back and watch sections of the videos again. In the practical exercise, what I want you to do is, with your own Qualtrics account, design a survey. You can base it on one of my surveys, the discursive one or the quantitative one, or you can create your own. Perhaps you'll do one that works towards your own group project. Once you've written the survey, circulate the URL to your classmates so they can take the survey, and then you will have some data. Check your data in Qualtrics and export it to Excel or SPSS, and then open Excel or SPSS and check that you can understand that data. Once you've done all of those, or if you can't do them and you have a problem, join in the class online discussion on the Wednesday morning between 9 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The link to sign up for the Zoom discussion is on the same web page as everything else. I would suggest signing up as soon as possible so that you'll get the link for joining on the day, and the session will send you a reminder to help you log on. So good luck. Please work your way through the tasks, the practical exercise, and I look forward to communicating with you online shortly.